Get to it later. But we got Jourdan Nicaud joining us now, owner and president of a Nicaud Restaurant Group. How you doing, Jourdan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Glad we got all that technology worked out. So, of course, you guys are coming off a big week on the Mississippi Gulf Coast last week, cruising the coast. I hear that the retailers and restaurateurs and others along the Gulf Coast describe it as their Christmas, that it's really a big time when so many people go to the coast, descend upon the coast, enjoying cruising the coast. What a great event that is for the coast and for the state of Mississippi. And, of course, they spend a lot of money. So how'd it go?
It went great. This year was actually busier, I think, than any year had been prior. The cruises were awesome, and, it did really well with the extra long weekend on Monday, so cruisers stayed a little longer. And
yeah,
very exciting. And we were very fortunate to have it. But it's kind of like our last hurrah on the Gulf Coast until Mardi Gras next year.
Yeah, of course, Mardi Gras, big deal as well. So, but do you sort of see it that way as well, Jourdan? That you could maybe describe it as kind of a Christmas? I mean, most retailers, a lot of retailers at least, do the lion's share of their business around Christmas, and in fact, it usually equates to or exceeds the whole rest of the year. Now, I know restaurants are maybe a little bit more limited because you can just seat so many and turn the tables over so many times, but do you find it to be the busiest time of year for you?
So I would say when we look at Cruisin the Coast, it equals out to our July 4th weekend.
Okay.
And so I would say July 4th, that summertime weekend, or Cruisin the Coast are our two busiest weeks of the year. And it's definitely an awesome experience and a great show. And Woody Bailey does an amazing job putting it on every year. And
yeah.
Very, very fortunate to have him, and he's an asset to the Gulf Coast. And I think Cruisin's an asset to the Gulf Coast, and it really helps our sales because it kind of, August, September, and January are the three worst months out of the year for the restaurant business and retail business with kids going back to school and whatnot. And Cruisin kind of takes us out of the slump from August and September and gets us back going to the holiday season.
Wow, awesome. How are things going overall, I guess, with the economy on the coast? I think your business, your industry is a pretty good reflection of that. How's it been going?
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate. Our sales have not been affected by the economy yet. We're down a little bit in the restaurants, maybe 1%.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, July and July before that was actually one of our best years ever.
Wow.
We had a weird August and September, and I think truthfully, part of it was the economy. I think the other part of it is the fact that the schools swapped from going, to the every 9 weeks you get 3 weeks off on the Gulf Coast. I think throughout the state, a lot of schools changed over.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of caught the people off guard and have made it to where people had to pay for all those expenses at that time period. So they may have cut down on restaurants and traveling a little bit. So I think it definitely was interesting. But I'll tell you, this year cruising was our busiest cruising we've ever had.
Well, that's awesome.
So I think it's definitely the coast is very fortunate to have it, and we're very fortunate to have the tourism that we have.
Yeah, no doubt. Any particular headwinds that you're being aware of and considering now, Jourdan, for your restaurants, for the restaurant industry in general? Are you still looking for labor, still struggling to get your labor normalized, supply chain, inflation, cost of raw goods coming to you?
So cost of raw goods coming to us has finally kind of plateaued. We're not having the every 3 months having to raise costs or figure things out or change menus because of just rising costs and goods. So we've been very fortunate that the inflation has kind of maybe plateaued, at least in our industry. And we're able to kind of set costs and start getting back to some type of normalized route. Yeah. Employees is always the issue, and it was the issue prior to COVID, and I think it'll be the issue going forward. That's always kind of been our problem along the coast, and in any restaurant is how do you keep employees, think everyone's sure everyone's happy and go forward. I think as far as headwinds, a lot of the regulations that are starting to come in to the coast from the Department of Labor, I think have started affecting restaurants a little bit, to where you have to start changing things and making things add up, to be able to offset some of the regulations that are being put on to restaurants from the Department of Labor. I think that's probably one of our biggest issues that we see throughout. But that's probably the only headwinds that I'm seeing. As far as the economy, I think we're all kind of waiting to see what's going to happen in the world economy, which will affect us in the next 6 months with everything going on, and from Israel and Palestine to Ukraine and Russia, and even China and Taiwan.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of reporting, Jourdan, about kind of some paradigm shifts, I guess you could call it, in just the whole concept of tipping. Is that affecting you in any way, and where do you stand on that?
The whole concept of tipping?
Tipping, yeah.
So what I will tell you is, in restaurants, there are a lot of restaurants that will take an employee's check for tips, and they'll put the actual tips onto the check after a week or two, and it just holds that. We find that our servers want to have that cash at the end of the night, so we pay it out to our servers at the end of the night. But yes, I do think it is changing. However, I've talked to some other people in our area who have gone to a flat rate where the servers in the back of the house, chefs, etc., all make the same amount of money, and then the tips are shared. Yeah. The issue comes into, and I think this is a similar thing, is that that fluctuates. And so most of our back of the house, they want to have a set rate that they can rely on, while the servers can tend to do better than the back of the house, but they get paid that night. And so I think that is one of the changes, but I'm not sure that'll ever be a change unless it's federally regulated, because I think the servers end up making better, and I think the back of the house want the steady check. Yeah. So I haven't seen that change. The change that I have seen is that as a tipped employee, if you work more than 30 minutes at the restaurant when it's not open, you need to be paid minimum wage, which would be $7.25, right, and not $2.13. And so that is a change that happened, I guess, from the flip from Trump to Biden. Yeah. That not everyone was aware of, and I think that's been a new change, not a new change, but a change that has affected the tipped industry. And I think we had to change through that. And then who knows if they'll change back or not whenever the next election happens. Yep. But I'm not seeing a change from employees wanting the back of the house wanting to be tipped. I guess there are some restaurants in bigger cities where you'll see a percentage of the check going to the back of the house to help offset the salaries of the back of the house. We have not done that yet, but I have seen other restaurants do that. Gotcha.
We got about 20 seconds left. You got any new restaurants on the boards you're thinking about?
Oh, so we're opening up. We're actually opening up a new sushi restaurant in Bay St. Louis. We're very excited about that. Okay. And we're going to be expanding into doing a big outdoor bar in Biloxi. Oh. It'll be right in front of fields. It'll be really awesome. We're very cool. Excited, hopefully for next year.
Very cool. Appreciate it, Jourdan. Good luck to you, man. Sounds great. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're coming right back in the